Alright, in this video we're going to continue to look at polynomial functions. Alright, in the previous video we determined if a function is a polynomial function by applying two tests. Now in this video, if they pass both tests, then there are 5 things I want you to do. Alright, so if you're given a function that's a polynomial function, then the first thing I want you to do is put the function in standard form. Okay. Then step 2, then you're going to state the degree of the polynomial. Then you're going to state the type of polynomial. Then the fourth, you're going to give me the leading coefficient. And then the last step is state the constant, if there is one. Alright? So for example, let's look at, well, we did this one in the previous video. Let's look at it again. Alright, so we said that this was a polynomial function because the exponents, the 1 and the 4, are positive integers, and the coefficients, the 2 and the 3/5, were real numbers. Alright, so this is a polynomial function. So this first step, you should be able to put it in a standard form. Now to put it in standard form, you take the variable with the highest exponent, which is this term. You put that first, and then you just start decreasing in order. So next one will be x cubed or x squared, x, and then the constant. Well, the next term will be 2x, and the last term will be that. So therefore, that is standard form. Alright, now once you have standard form, you're going to be able to state, you should be able to give me numbers 2, 3, and 4 by just looking at the first term. Alright, in order to state the degree of the polynomial, which is the second one, state the degree of the polynomial, you look at the exponent of the first term. The exponent is 4. That right there is your degree. So I have a degree of 4. This does mean something. It means that for this polynomial, if I would be able to solve this, in other words, if I would set this equal to 0 and solve it, I could have up to 4 possible answers. Alright? But we'll get to that later. Alright. The third question is state the type of polynomial function there is. Well, before we can state this, I need to give you the types. Alright? So the types of polynomials. Alright? So the first one is if you have f of x equals, let's say 4. In other words, there's no variable. So this is called a constant function. If I have like 3x minus 5, look here, I have a variable, but this is the highest one, or the largest one, because the exponent is 1. Since it's just the exponent is 1, this is called a linear. Right? And we worked on, you probably should have that in regular algebra and geometry. The third one is what we spent all half the second marking period on, and actually sort of the first marking period, is something like x squared. Alright, so in this polynomial function, this will be a quadratic because the biggest variable, the exponent, is a 2, so therefore this makes it a quadratic. Sorry about that. Okay, so again, no variable is called a constant. If you just have one variable that has an exponent of 1, it's called linear. If I have the variable with the largest exponent, in this case a 2, is called a quadratic. if the variable with the largest exponent has a 3, it's called a cubic. And then to the 4th power is called a quartic. Alright? So those are the 5 polynomials you need to know. Alright? So back to our example. I have a degree of 4. Well, degree of 4 means in my equation, I have a variable to the 4th power. Well, that right there tells me that this polynomial is called a quartic, because I got something to the 4th power, so therefore it's a quartic. Even though it has an x term in there, that's not the largest variable. This is. So therefore that rules. That takes dominance over the rest. Alright, now then the 4th part, leading coefficient. Well, the first term is this right here, so the coefficient is 3/5. So the leading coefficient is 3/5. And the constant, well, the constant term, if you notice back here the types, that means it does not have a variable. So in these 3 terms, which one does not have a variable? This one. So that does not have the variable, therefore that is called my constant. So 9 is the constant. Alright, so that's how these are the 5 things I want you to state when you give me a polynomial function. Alright, so let's do one more. Let's do f of x is equal to 6x cubed minus 5x plus 2x squared minus 3/5. Alright, is this a polynomial function? Well, all my exponents, the 3, the 1, and the 2 were all positive, so therefore that passes. My coefficient, 6 and negative 5, positive 2, they're real numbers, so therefore this is a polynomial function. Alright, so the first step is put this in standard form. Well, the variable with the largest exponent is 3, so that goes first. Then 3, the next one is squared, so it'll be 2x squared. Then the minus 5x, and then the 3/5. Step 2 is state the degree. Well, the largest exponent is 3, so this will be a degree of 3. Third step is what's the type? Well, the degree of 3 means a degree of 3 is called a cubic. It's called a cubic. So this is a cubic function. For the leading coefficient, well, look at the first term. What is the coefficient? 6. So that's the leading coefficient is a 6. And then the term that does not have a variable, in this case it is negative 3/5. That does not have a variable, so that is my constant. Right? Now if I have a problem that does not have a constant, and that means the constant